Hey y'all, welcome back to the Burrow. I'm Hillary, your resident fragrance-loving muggle. So today I have a number of my favorite fall and winter gourmand fragrances, so if you want to hear what those are, stick around. Okay, so if I'm being honest, I am a gourmand whore, basically. A whoremond, if you will. Gourmands are definitely my favorite classification of fragrances. And so I tried to set apart, I started with just trying to do 5 of my favorite fragrances for fall and winter. And then that ended up being 10 and then more than that. So basically I have 10 main different fragrances and then like alternatives in a couple of the different categories there. So yeah, let's see what we've got. Okay, so first on our list I have Tonka Imperial by Gourmand. Now I featured this fragrance in my fall signature scent category just because this fragrance works out so well in weather, 60 degrees and under. It's sweet, it kind of smells like a cookie. It has tonka and rosemary and vanilla and tobacco and amber, and this is just one of those beautiful warming fragrances that just makes me happy. It definitely kind of channels the holiday vibe for me. So that's Gourmand Tonka Imperial. Okay, so next on the list we have Seojin by Parfums de Marly. Now this is usually my Thanksgiving Day scent. This fragrance smells like a cinnamon apple pie with honey drizzled on top. Now apple is not actually a note in this. I think maybe it's the osmanthus that's giving this like a bright, crisp kind of appley scent to it. But yeah, this fragrance definitely channels a beautiful, all-American apple pie, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Lasts forever. It's a real stunner. Now, the next fragrance on my list, I actually have 3 fragrances from this particular line in this list, but it's one of my favorite lines, and when it comes to gourmands, they really know how to do it. And this fragrance is Lavenda's Trianon by Maison Lancome. Now, if I'm honest, I really have to be in the mood to wear this fragrance. I don't typically wear lavender-based fragrances. I think that the only notes in this are actually lavender, vanilla, and milk. And it's definitely lactonic. The lavender is really, really aromatic, but the sweetness that's in this really just makes it smell like a beautiful sugar cookie with equal amounts of lavender, sprinkled on top. This is definitely a good one to put on before you go to bed. It's, a really relaxing fragrance. And like I said, I have to be in the mood to wear this during the day, just because it's so unique and so different. But if you haven't gotten your nose on that one, definitely do, because it's not your usual kind of fragrance. Okay, so the next fragrance that I have is Mon Parfum Cristal by Martin Mugler. First off, look at this bottle. These are individual Swarovski crystals that are like been hand attached. I don't know how they do it, but it's pretty cool. All of the bottles by this house are just really, really unique. Anyways, so this fragrance rides the border right between, gourmand and floral. We'll call it like flormand, I guess. This fragrance, the main notes that I smell in here are toffee and rose and vanilla and amber. This fragrance, it's kind of a syrupy rose, but it has this edible quality from that toffee that this really just seems like maybe like you're eating a Turkish delight or some sort of strange pastry. Yeah, maybe more like some sort of baklava with like rose water drizzled on it or something along those lines. Yeah, if you haven't gotten your nose on this one, definitely do. I actually got this one for a really good price on FragranceNet. I think I got it for around $40 last year. I'm not sure if it's still on there and still at that kind of price, but yeah, I absolutely love this one. And that one's Mon Parfum Cristal by Martin Mugler. Next, I kind of have a vanilla kind of category where I picked one fragrance and then I was like, oh, well, I can't leave out this one. But these all kind of are fairly similar to one another. And let's see. So first off, I have Wicked Good by Gallagher fragrances. Now this is the 9 ml bottle that he originally put out. I know that he just released 30 ml bottles this year, but I got these last year or the year before, so I guess 2018, and this is what they looked like originally, and I have a couple of these. Now, there's only 3 notes listed, and that's chocolate, tonka, and Madagascan vanilla. And the chocolate is really only there in the opening, and it is a beautiful, milky chocolate, kind of Hershey-esque, if that makes sense. And when this dries down, it just becomes this beautiful, rich tonka vanilla combination, and it lasts on my skin forever. This fragrance is pretty straightforward, not difficult to understand, very simple, but really, really beautiful. So if you have not tried Wicked Good by Gallagher Fragrances, definitely get your nose on it. Okay, so next, from one of my favorite indie houses, we have Memoirs of a Trespasser by Imaginary Authors. First off, this bottle's really cute. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but these actually come in, they look like little books to go on your bookshelf, and they each have a story that goes along with them, which is just really cool. So the notes on this one, which is really convenient because they're on the back, is Madagascar vanilla, guaiac myrrh, bergamot, benzoin, ambrette seeds, and oak barrels, which is, you know, the imaginary note. So this fragrance, it is a really dry vanilla, and it almost has a pencil shavings-esque kind of vibe to it. I feel like this is kind of a manly vanilla. I feel like it's definitely one that if I'm going to be wearing a flannel shirt, this is the vanilla I pull for, just because it kind of seems to give me that same vibe. So that's Memoirs of a Trespasser from Imaginary Authors. Okay, so in the last one in that little vanilla kind of subsection that I have is Serge Lutens Umber. Now, this fragrance is much fluffier than the other vanilla fragrances, I would say. You know, Wicked Good was more chocolatey based and then was pretty heavy, and then Memoirs of a Trespasser had that kind of pencil shavings-y kind of vibe to it, and was really dry. This one, on the other hand, has the aromatic texture of marshmallows, basically. And it has notes of vanilla and coconut, sandalwood, black licorice, beeswax, a number of other things, but more than anything, this just smells like a rich vanilla with a sandalwood background in marshmallow fluff. And it's really beautiful. It's kind of subtle. It doesn't push out really far, but it's just one of those super cozy fragrances that I like to wear if I'm home reading a book, or you know, if I'm just not going to be doing anything too exciting, if I just want to keep that mellow stay-at-home vibe. Okay, so next we have House of Seojin number 1. So this bottle's pretty cool. There's a little button here that just pops over, which is pretty neat. Yeah, so this fragrance is pretty heavy in cinnamon, vanilla, tonka, cloves, ginger, mahogany wood, but the main thing that I get from this is that cinnamon and vanilla, but it pulls a cherry vibe. As soon as this touches my skin, it is like straight cherry syrup with a dark wood undertone. And this fragrance lasts forever. It's really sweet. I think this is a men's fragrance. Obviously, men can wear it. I wear it, and I'm not a man, so basically anyone can wear this one. Yeah, I really like this one. I'm not a fan of Herod by Parfums de Marly, which is also a fragrance that they say pulls rather cherry, just because to me that one has more of a cough syrup vibe. I think this one, it stays just slightly farther away from being cough syrupy when it's pulling that cherry vibe. So yeah, House of Seojin number 1, definitely a good one to try. This bottle is very expensive, so if you're interested in this, definitely try to find a sample first. Don't blind buy it. That's just silly. Don't blind buy anything that's that expensive, unless you just are balling. And yeah, okay. Anyways, okay. So my next fragrance, again, I have 2 fragrances in this little thing. They're very, very similar. Honestly, if you sprayed one on my arm, I might get it confused for the other. If I haven't worn them in a while and I'm not used to differentiating between the two of them. But the first one of those is Exidolo Love and Crime. Now, this fragrance was inspired by a love story between these two criminals. And this woman, this is a true story, this woman smuggled a saw in a wedding cake into a prison to break her husband out of jail. I believe that's the story. So, this is the wedding cake fragrance. And I'm not sure if I just get the vibe just because I heard the story, but I kind of get a metallic vibe from it too, but not a crazy metallic vibe. But this fragrance is vanilla, mandarin, star anise, sugar, cacao. Basically, it smells like a really rich buttercream in a cake. Like just a really, really rich buttercream icing with just a little bit of citrus. Not a lot, just enough to kind of make it bright and not sickeningly sweet. Now, the fragrance that it's really similar to is Xerjoff's Lyra. Now, this fragrance has notes of blood orange, bergamot, lavender, licorice, caramel, vanilla, and I think musk. And like I said, these fragrances are very similar, but this one leans a little bit heavier on the blood orange, whereas the other one had mandarin, but it was really just to add a little bit of brightness. This one stays a little bit brighter throughout and doesn't have quite as deep and sticky of an undertone as Exidolo's Love and Crime does. But honestly, you can't really go wrong with either of these fragrances, and like I said, they are really similar. I would say it probably is redundant to have both of them, but I learned that too late and I already have them, so I kind of just wear this one when it's warmer and this one when it's slightly cooler, and that's just how we do. Okay, so next on our list, and again, this is another one from that same line as earlier. This is Roses Berberenza by Maison Lancome. Look at these bottles. Aren't those just gorgeous? Now, this fragrance is, I've never smelled anything else like it. It is a beautiful jammy rose, like literally smells like a raspberry and rose jam and pistachios, which is really interesting. So it's so sweet with that raspberry rose jam, and it also has a rum note in it, so it's kind of has like a kind of a booziness to it, but that rose is so powerful. But then to even everything out, there's this saltiness of the pistachio, and it's not too pistachio-y that it smells like feet. I know a lot of people are really sensitive about their pistachio in fragrances because they don't want to smell like feet, but no, this is just, they just add enough of that salty characteristic that this is just a beautifully balanced fragrance. I definitely only wear it in cooler weather, mostly because that pistachio, I don't want to wear it once it starts getting warmer, but this fragrance is so unique. Like I said, I've never smelled anything like it. That's Roses Berberenza by Maison Lancome. Definitely one to get your nose on if you get a chance. I mean, I can't say enough good things about this fragrance. It's so different. It's so beautiful. And I mean, who doesn't want that bottle in their collection? So we just have 2 fragrances left. And so our second to last fragrance is Pure Coffee by Mugler. Now, if I had Pure Tonka, it would be on this list. I absolutely love that fragrance, but it is on my need to buy, will buy here, like tomorrow list, basically. But for now, I have this one. I have to say, I kind of hate these bottles. Like the sprayer thing, everybody talks about cutting that out, and I am too OCD. I cannot let myself take a knife to my bottle, but cannot smell anything out of the sprayer. There aren't many notes in this. I think it's mostly coffee, vetiver, patchouli, musk, and cedar. Yeah. So, I love this fragrance. So, it basically smells like an espresso with just a little bit of musk and some patchouli earthiness. That's basically all I get out of this fragrance. And I think the musk kind of gives it a bit of an effervescence, a bit of an effervescence to it. I love this one so much. This is probably my second favorite from the Pure line. Pure Tonka and Pure Coffee are probably my favorites. Although I do have a bottle of Ultra Zest coming in the mail soon, so that'll be cool. And it just has a beautiful coffee note. On me, it lasts 7 to 8 hours. I've seen people comment on Fragrantica and say that it has some endurance issues, but endurance issues. It has. So I've seen people say that it has some longevity issues, but I personally don't have any issues with that. Maybe they're just not moisturizing, or maybe it's just a skin chemistry thing. I don't know. But for me, this fragrance lasts all day, and I absolutely love it. A lot of people were talking about hoping that Ristretto Intense Cafe was going to be their holy grail coffee fragrance, and no, for me, it's this one, Pure Coffee by Mugler. I absolutely love it. Okay, so our last fragrance, and probably one of my favorite fragrances of all time, is Oud Bouquet by Maison Lancome. Now, this fragrance lasts me 24 plus hours. I made the mistake one time of spraying my hair, and even after washing my hair the next morning, I could still smell Oud Bouquet in my hair afterwards. So this fragrance, the longevity is insane, the projection insane, sillage also insane. Absolutely beautiful fragrance. Go light on the trigger with this one. Now, some people, might ask if you can spray your clothes. I would be cautious with that because this juice, I don't know if you can tell, is really, really dark. It will stain, and you really don't need that for any extra longevity because, like I said, it will last forever. So the main things I get in this fragrance are rose, oud, vanilla, and praline. So the vanilla makes a beautiful marshmallowy texture with a syrupy rose, and the praline adds kind of a chocolate undertone. So this literally smells like you are making s'mores next to a dying fire. There is a little bit of a smokiness to it. It is just beautiful and syrupy and sweet. Yeah, you really cannot go wrong with Oud Bouquet. Definitely get your nose on this one. It's really good. So what do you guys think about gourmands? Are you gourmand whores like I am, or are you rather indifferent? I'd love to hear your all's opinions, or if you think that there's any more gourmand fragrances that I should get my nose on, or you think should have been on this top tier of my favorite gourmands list. Obviously, if I haven't smelled it, I'll probably order a sample soon because I love gourmands. I'm always looking to add more to my collection, and they just make me happy. So thank you guys so much for stopping by the borough today and hanging out with me, and I hope to see you all again soon. Good night.